Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and I'm bringing you another battle in the VGC 14 ladder series. Since you guys are awesome and got 500 likes on yesterday's video, let's hit another 500 for daily uploads. Today I am using a new team of Charizard, Venusaur, Salamence, Rotom, Wash, Scizor, and Amoonguss. Now first, you'll probably think, this is a Sun team, right? Wrong! I'm actually running Charizard X and Mega Venusaur to bluff the Sun, and I'm really excited to be trying out Charizard X. Have not gotten to use it much, but someone was kind enough to donate one to me, so thank you so much. To everyone who's been messaging me about donations, I really appreciate it. I've been pretty busy, but I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Anyway, as you know, they're actually shutting down VGC for the rated battle ladder, which is really silly, and I'm probably going to make a video about this tomorrow, but for everyone asking me what I'm going to do, first I'm definitely going to pre-record a couple of games. Hopefully that will take me to the end of the month, and after that I'll just be doing challenges with you guys. So I'll try to set up a time to battle all of you. May is a very busy month, that it is the final stretch for school, but I actually go on vacation June, I believe the second week of June, though I am busy once summer break starts, since I'll be interning, and I'm actually going to Mexico for a week to help build a house there. But anyway, the summer, without any school, I'll be interning, but I'll be able to find time for you guys to do battles, so I'll figure all that out. But you can stay tuned. I have a lot of stuff still planned out, including showdown battles and battles with my brother, which a lot of you guys have been asking for. But let's get into today's battle. So I know I haven't been talking about my rating recently. Like I said, I reset my DS a couple days ago. I was, I think, 5-5 at some point, but I went on a 7-0 run recently, so I'm at 16-18 right now with a record of 12-5 after winning 7 games in a row, and we'll see if we can keep that streak going. Of course, I'm not really playing for the top ladder position, just because to me, ladder position doesn't mean too much. It's a good way to practice, but right now, it's not the real time before Nationals and Worlds, but excited to see how this team does, especially Charizard X, and we'll see how it performs. Obviously, not going to bring Charizard X if my opponent doesn't have the Pokemon, the best matchup for it, which is what Mega Venusaur here is for, but it's really fun bluffing Sun. I'm going to find Andrew from North Carolina with a rating of 1493, and we're going to go into team preview. Andrew's team is going to be Charizard, Manectric, Tyranitar, Aerodactyl, Ferrothorn, and Gardevoir. So, a lot of Pokemon. I've actually featured all of them on my YouTube channel, so pretty familiar with what I can expect here, but it'll be fun to use Charizard X, because Charizard X actually has a great matchup in terms of beating the Ferrothorn, and I definitely need Amoonguss for support here, but the scary thing is he's got Gardevoir and Charizard, so I have to play carefully, but not the worst matchup. Scizor here will help me against his Gardevoir, his Tyranitar, and his Aerodactyl. So I'm thinking of leading Charizard and Amoonguss, and I'm going to have Scizor in the back, and I think I want Salamence as my last one. Debating between Salamence and Rotom, but I'm leaning towards Salamence just because it's Scarfed, can get me to jump on many things. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to lead with Charizard X and Amoonguss and have Scizor and Salamence in the back, and try to just set up Charizard right away. If I can get a Dragon Dance up, it can pretty much one-hit KO almost his entire team. The Manectric, the Aerodactyl, the Charizard, the Ferrothorn. And as for Tyranitar and Gardevoir, that's why I have Scizor in the back, so I'll be probably able to switch and pull some stuff out. But the battle's finally going to get started after 3 minutes of this battle, and we'll get into it. So my opponent, immediately, I think the Aerodactyl is one of the scarier Pokemon, as well as the Gardevoir, because it does give Amoonguss a lot of trouble, but we'll see what he leads with. I would expect Aerodactyl as a lead, though. That would actually give me some trouble. I'm going to lead with Charizard and Amoonguss. He is going to go with Manectric and Aerodactyl, so something that I expected. Shiny Manectric to boot. So, not the best matchup here for me, but because I have Amoonguss, I'll be able to get a Spore up, and right now he probably still thinks I'm Charizard X. Charizard Y. So on the first turn, I think I'm going to protect with my Charizard and go for a Spore onto the Aerodactyl. Once I Spore the Aerodactyl, I'll be able to safely get a Dragon Dance up, which is really the most important thing right now. He's probably going to go for, say, a Rock Slide and an Overheat, which should not KO Amoonguss. Amoonguss should be able to hang on with just a bit of HP from that, but we'll see what Andrew decides to go for. Manectric is going to Mega Evolve. Sadly, the Intimidate's actually going to affect my Charizard, something you don't normally see very often, but of course I am running a physical Charizard X. So I'm not in the best of positions right now, but it's also good knowing that I have Scarf Salamence in the back, since both Manectric and Aerodactyl are rather frail Pokemon. My Charizard, of course, is going to protect here. I don't want to let him know that I'm Charizard X just yet. Might want to conserve that. Aerodactyl just does go for the Rock Slide as expected. Amoonguss actually avoiding that, as he Volt Switches instead of overheating. Surprising. Did not expect that, but probably trying to avoid the Spore. But this is great, as I'll be able to bring this Aerodactyl to his sleep right away. Unfortunate miss there with Rock Slide, but obviously the most important thing was him getting the flinch chance, and by you know, getting the Spore up here, now I'm going to be able to safely Dragon Dance, which is huge. Especially because he brings in Ferrothorn. Surprising switch in there, but he probably was expecting the Spore onto the Manectric, so I'm very happy with how this turn comes out. So now I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for a Dragon Dance, and now the question is what he wants to do with that Aerodactyl. I kind of expect him to switch out into Manectric, and so I also want to break the Sash, so I'm going to go for a Giga Drain here. The +1 onto Charizard is important enough, and by getting a Dragon Dance up, you know, he's probably not going to want to stay in with Ferrothorn, but looks like both of his Pokemon are going to stay in. So Charizard X is going to Mega Evolve here. I'm going to be able to get a free Dragon Dance up. There's not much you can do right now, especially since Aerodactyl is taking his first turn of sleep, as neither Pokemon actually protects. So nice play by him there. Oh, excuse me, Ferrothorn does go for the Protect, so Aerodactyl probably going for the Protect there as well, as Charizard is able to get a free Dragon Dance up, so I'm able to fully capitalize off this turn, which is huge. Of course, now my attack is just neutral, but the +1 speed is the most important thing. Charizard X's base attack is just incredible, and I'm able to get that free Giga Drain off onto Aerodactyl, which is always great. I think I'm actually going to go for another Dragon Dance here, because, you know, even if the Aerodactyl wakes up, Rock Slide won't be able to KO me, so I want to take full advantage of this position I have right now. That Ferrothorn I actually expect to switch out. The Dragon Dance is a pretty aggressive play, I guess, but the way I see it, if he doesn't wake up, then I'll be basically put in a position to completely sweep. He is going to bring in Mega Manectric back in, though. Good play by him there. Probably could have actually anticipated that and just went for the Spore onto the Ferrothorn, and I probably could have went for a Fire Blast and Flare Blitz and a Spore, because that would either ensure the KO onto Ferrothorn or allow me to just put a new Pokemon to sleep, but oh well. I'm going to go for another Dragon Dance onto Charizard, so pretty aggressive play. It looks like I might be regretting this as he gets the Rock Slide off onto Charizard. We'll see how much it does here. Brings me down to 48 HP, wow. Oh, crits me, of course, as Amoonguss does get another Giga Drain off, but that crit definitely setting me back a bit. I'm fine, though. I'm perfectly content with the position I'm in right now. My Charizard is at +2 at this point, and I'm able to redirect all attacks away from this Manectric, so I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here onto the Aerodactyl and Rage Powder to take a potential Volt Switch, or any attack really. He might go for the Overheat, but he actually goes for the Protect, so I'm very happy to see that. Let's see if Aerodactyl protects as well. Nope! So I'm able to come out of this turn with the free KO on an Aerodactyl. That's huge. The biggest thing is when you're playing, you know, with the Pokemon, a sweeper like Charizard, your opponent, the biggest thing you fear from your opponent is them, you know, focusing onto that one sweeper. But by able to getting a free KO there, it's huge for me because not only do I take out a pretty big threat, the Manectric also just isn't able to get any damage off, so that's huge for me. Seeing this Tyranitar is really good because I know I have a Scizor in the back, and my Salamence is able to Fire Blast, so I'm not even scared of that Ferrothorn in the back. I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz on the Manectric just in case he wants to switch out. It should be KO regardless, and go for the Spore to Tyranitar. If he doesn't switch out, yep, I should be picking up the KO here, and then Salamence should be able to clean up the game for me, but even having Scizor in the back is good enough. And you see there, even at neutral, because of course I went for 2 Dragon Dances, Manectric did lose a lot from that Intimidate, able to take out the Manectric. So Charizard X putting in work this game, picking up 2 KOs. As Tyranitar does go for a Rock Slide, even if it flinches me, not too worried. Going to do full power, of course, since it is single target, revealing the Life Orb as well, as Amoonguss does flinch. So my opponent definitely needed that this turn, but I'm not going to be that concerned as I do have Scizor in the back. And by having Scizor, I'm able to Rage Powder attacks away from the Tyranitar. Of course, Tyranitar does get moves like Fire Blast, but by doing this, now I can Rage Powder any attack away, and it probably single target. If he goes for the Rock Slide, I'm faster. So I'm going to go for the Swords Dance with Scizor and go for a Rage Powder, trying to redirect a potential Fire-type attack away. I expect that to be Special Tyranitar carrying Rock Slide, seeing how Rock Slide did not do too much. Tyranitar even goes for the Protect, so this is even better. So now Amoonguss going for the Rage Powder. Ferrothorn not going to be affected by that, probably going for the Leech Seed onto Scizor, but let's see. But by setting up the Sword Stance, this basically ensures me the win, as I can safely Bullet Punch Tyranitar the next turn, then Salamence will be able to come in and seal up the game, as Leech Seed does go off onto Scizor here. Obviously not too bad. The Ferrothorn Scizor matchup, you know, sure, you get your Leech Seed off, but you can't really do too much damage to Scizor, especially because Scizor actually isn't that fast, so Gyro Ball isn't doing that much damage. So here I'm going to go for the Bullet Punch, go for another Rage Powder, just, you know, why not, in case the Bullet Punch doesn't KO Tyranitar for some crazy reason, like he has the Steel Resist Berry. But like I said, I'm just setting up this game so Tyranitar faints, so Salamence can come in safely and Fire Blast away. Scizor actually has a pretty good matchup against Ferrothorn by itself. I remember back in Gen 5 when I used Scizor a lot, I relied on Swords Dance Scizor beating Ferrothorn one-on-one just by setting up Swords Dance multiple times, because like I said, Ferrothorn can't do too much to Scizor, but Scizor here is going to Bullet Punch the Tyranitar, able to pick up the KO. And I'm actually really falling in love with Scizor again. I haven't used it in a while, but it's done so much work in all the games I've used with it recently. Ferrothorn going for the Gyro Ball on Amoonguss, isn't able to do that much damage. One of the things I love about the Amoonguss slash Ferrothorn mashup is Ferrothorn can't do too much damage because it's relying on Gyro Ball as its main means of offense, but Amoonguss is a pretty slow Pokemon, so the Ferrothorn effectively just tries to damage itself through Rocky Helmet. I'm going to go for another Swords Dance here, expecting a Protect on Ferrothorn and a Giga Drain. Not really much at this point. He's actually not going to Protect there, but of course I have the Fire Blast, and I just need to hit one of like multiple to end up winning the game. But right now, if my opponent wants any chance of winning, he really has to target the Scizor. Needs to pick up the KO there, then hope for a Fire Blast miss in the late game. He is going to go for Gyro Ball, but let's see if he correctly plays this. Nope, he's going to target Amoonguss, so this basically sets up the win for me, as now I'm able to get a Fire Blast and a X Scizor off onto Ferrothorn. And his chances of winning were slim, but I think he really needed to target the Scizor there and slowly pick it off, just so he could try to, you know, hope for some Fire Blast misses, because of course Gyro Ball is a 2-hit KO onto Salamence. But now I'm able to bring in Salamence, not only intimidate him, but also Fire Blast and X Scizor for the win, for Scizor now at a beautiful +4. So I'm, you know, got to feature two of my favorite Pokemon, I got to feature Scizor, which has always been my favorite Pokemon. Charizard X, really cool too. Really impressed by what it did here, and the Charizard X and Amoonguss duo is actually really strong. As Fire Blast, obviously going into that, probably should have went for another Swords Dance just to maximize and ensure the KO the next turn, but no worries. Sandstorm is going to go away, and obviously Ferrothorn trying to salvage a win here, but now, like I said, because he went for the target onto Amoonguss instead of Scizor, I should be able to seal up this game with an X Scizor and a Fire Blast. But I don't know if +4 X Scizor can even KO, but Fire Blast is going to connect here, so that's basically a good game. Ferrothorn goes down, and I will win this game 2-0 against a pretty cool team. A lot of Pokemon I've used. I've used Aerodactyl, Manectric, all of them. So cool to see a combination of Pokemon I've used before, but 2-0 win for me there, and so far I've been playing pretty well in Battle Spot, so I think I finally find my groove again in VGC, but we'll see in the next couple matches. But let me know if you guys enjoyed the team, enjoyed the Charizard X. Hopefully I get to use more of that. Let me know what you want to see. Like, comment, subscribe, of course, if you haven't, if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys. Peace.